Hey! Alright everybody, how's it going? Now, can you get a really good crimp from a £15 pair of crimpers? £15 is not a lot of money for a pair of crimpers, so can you get a good crimp? Now originally, I thought you couldn't, but after watching a couple of tutorials and having a good look at the jaws, I can get a really good crimp from these cheap crimpers. So keep watching if you want to see how I get a good crimp from these. Right, okay, now the first problem I had with these crimpers is it kept jamming. So I don't know if you can see here, there's a little lever there. If you push that way, it opens these up. But also, if you give it a good squeeze, it releases it and opens up like that. Now, when I first bought these, for the first about 10 crimps, you could squeeze it as hard as you could and it wouldn't work. But now, it's doing it nearly all the time. It's loosened up. But now and again, it does get a bit catchy and you've got to press that lever there to release it. You can't get your finger in there, you've got to get a screwdriver or something to push it. So that was the first problem I encountered with my £15 crimpers. But to understand, now, I thought these crimpers were bad, but I wasn't understanding how to crimp properly. So the next thing I'll do, I'll take these out of here, and I'll try and show you exactly what they look like and how it crimps and how the connector you buy sits in the crimping. So here's the crimpers, and if you look here, let me see this. Let's go on this side. Let's go there. We got 0.25 millimeters, 0.5 millimeters, and just 1 millimeter. And it also says that there. So you can see it goes from small to big. But anyway, let's take this bottom chuck or whatever they call it out, and I can show you exactly how you're supposed to put the connectors into this tool. So let's open it up. Let's undo this here. Let's take that out of the way there. Just take this out. Doesn't want to come out. Okay. Pop that out of there. Now, if you look inside here, the one side is smaller and the other side is larger. So the connectors can only go in one way. Let me get a connector and I'll show you now. Where's a connector? Right, well, if I get one of these connectors out, let's go for one of these here. Move out of the way, let's get out of the way. And then, if you remember, this was in there like that, with the big at the back and the small at the front. Now, when you get these connectors like this, you've got to put them in facing downwards. This big part here goes in the big part there, and the next part along where it crimps the copper wire sits in the smaller part there. So it goes in like that. So you can see, there we are, like that, like that, like that. Okay, so I'll take it out again. The big part goes in the big part, the small part goes in the small part. It's quite simple, isn't it? Okay, so if I put this tool back in here, let's do this up a minute. So, pop that in there. Also, well, let me just stop and take this top one out. Got that in there tight there. Oh, right. I'll take the top one out just to show you. I mean, if you've done loads of crimping, you know this already. This is for people who buy a crimper. Because when you buy these crimpers, I bought this from Amazon. There's no instructions on nothing at all. But if you look at that as well, it's bigger on this side and smaller on that side. It corresponds exactly with the big on one side, small on the other. So it corresponds with each other. So if you did take them out, you know, they only go in one way. So let's put this back on this one. Like so. Like that, nice and tight. Get this. Sit it in there so the edge is to the edge, if you know what I mean. And you can bring that down like that slowly. Like that. Try and get it in straight as well. And it'll click and it'll keep the connector there now, right? So the connector's there. So let me get a piece of wire. Right, okay, you've got a piece of wire. Make sure that fits in here. And this what is that way, isn't it? Okay. Because if you squeeze that too tight, you're not going to get this wire in. This is a particularly thick outer for a thin inner, if you know what I mean. But it should go in here. Yeah, it does work. Okay. So what I do is I cut about that much off there, like that. So I cut that off there. I get the bare wire. Because it's a particularly thin wire, if it was a thicker wire I wouldn't bother. Because it's thin gauge, I think it's 0.5 or 0.75, I bend it over, something more to bite onto. Then pop it through there like that. Turn this over. I don't know if you can see that there. You don't want the copper wire to go past. You want it to come level. About there, like that, level, right? Then you start giving it the old squeezeroo. Right, ready? And then, like that. And you should come out with a perfect crimp. Look at that. What do you think of that? Look, fantastic crimp. Great crimp from £15 Crimpers. So remember, you put it in that way like that. And also, if you think your crimp is a bit loose, once you've crimped it, you can always put it in the next one down there. And then you can give it an extra sort of... But the trouble is now, it's locked, so I gotta... Because it's not going all the way, I gotta push that thing there, like that, to get it back out. And it's really crimped now. It's like you're never gonna pull that wire out of there now. Well, you could if you've got pliers and stuff, but so that's how I get the perfect crimp from £15 Crimpers. Okay, there you go. Not bad for a cheap pair of crimpers, is it? A nice crimping at the end there. Like I said before, when I first got these crimpers, I thought they were no good. But you really gotta, you know, have a look at some tutorials on YouTube to see how you do it properly. Because I was doing it, probably putting them in the wrong way. And that's why I was getting a bad crimp. But anyway, if this video helped you in any way, just give it a like or a dislike, I don't mind. And consider subscribing to the channel, that'd be great. Anyway, see you in the next one.